who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we cry. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive in this great turning. We shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive in this great turning. We shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love.
Good morning. My name is Oksana, and I'm a member of the Board of Trustees of this congregation. Welcome to all of you. The Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Elkhart is a welcoming community encouraging religious freedom, nurturing individual spiritual and ethical growth, celebrating diversity, and promoting a just and sustainable world. If you would like to learn more about this fellowship, please ask anyone wearing a name badge with any questions you may have. You can also check out our website at uufe.org. You are all welcome to join us after the service in the gathering place for coffee and fellowship. For the listening enjoyment of all, we ask you at this time to please set your phones to silent mode. Also, if you need hearing support, please ask for help at the sound desk at the rear of the sanctuary. And for my sister, don't forget to turn your phones back on after the service. Thank you, because I always forget to turn mine on, and then she can't call me. Couple of announcements. We need to stack the chairs after the service today to allow cleaning of the floor in the sanctuary this week. The First Unitarian Church of South Bend is announcing February 14th, 2026, Love is Love dinner for Valentine's Day from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Any and all are invited. Couples, singles, young and old, LGBTQ, love knows no bounds. Thank you. Technical issue this morning. I just popped a lens on my glasses. So this could be interesting. Right?
You know, my font is large, we'll wing it. Please. Last Sunday, we talked about external resistance, about speaking up, showing up, and refusing to remain silent in the face of injustice. That work matters deeply. But resistance cannot be sustained by outrage alone. This morning, we turn inward, and not to retreat from the world, but to ask a different question. How do we remain resilient enough to keep resisting over time? So today's service explores what it means to embody resilience, so our commitment to justice does not burn us out or hollow us out along the way. And we begin with these words. We gather this morning not because the world is simple, but because it is not. We gather carrying questions, weariness, and hope in uneven measure. In a time that urges us toward despair or distraction, we choose instead to be present, to be together, and to tend what still gives us light. As Albert Schweitzer reminds us, at times our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lighted the flame within us.
We light this chalice for the courage to remain present in a world that invites us to turn away. We light it for the compassion that resists isolation and the resolve to keep our spirits from going dark. This flame reminds us that resistance does not always shout. Sometimes it simply refuses to disappear. In lighting this chalice, we reaffirm that even small, steady light can make a difference. If you would read with me the unison covenant as printed in your order of service. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. To dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. This is our covenant. And if you refer to your hymnals, don't turn to 88, turn to 86, as in the bulletin. It's number 88 or 86. I've got it 88 in the order of service. Anyway, let's stand if you're sing if you're willing and able. Blessed Spirit of my life, number 86.
can see. Okay, so I have a story for you today. It's called The Village That Remembered Its Light. In a quiet little village, every home kept a lantern burning in the front window. The lanterns weren't just decoration. They were symbols of what the village believed in: kindness, courage, welcome, and truth. Each evening at dusk, the lanterns blink on and the whole village glowed with a warm golden light. One day, a new leader appeared in the village square. He was loud, confident, and absolutely certain of everything. He pointed at the glowing windows and he shouted, "Those lanterns are making us weak. They make outsiders think that we're soft. Turn them off. Only I can make the village safe." Some villagers hesitated. Some were afraid. And some, relieved to have someone telling them exactly what to do, blew out their lanterns right away. Soon house after house went dark. But at the edge of the village, one small lantern refused to dim. Its owner, Mira, polished its glass every night, even as neighbors whispered, "Aren't you afraid he'll come after you? Don't you want to keep your head down? Why keep your lantern on when everyone else is turning theirs off?" Mira answered quietly, "I keep it lit because I don't want fear deciding what kind of person I am." Still, the pressure grew. Posters went up. "Bright lights attract danger." And some villagers who kept their lanterns burning found notes slipped under their doors. "Turn it off. Don't make trouble." One night, even Mira wavered. She wiped soot from her lantern and she whispered, "Maybe this is foolish. Maybe one light doesn't matter anymore." But then a knock came at her door. A young villager stood there, nervous and wringing his hands. I saw your lantern," he said. "It reminded me of who we used to be. I thought maybe it's okay if mine stays on too." Mira felt a warmth rise in her chest, the same warmth her lantern seemed to hold. The next night, 2 more lanterns glowed. The night after that, 5, and then 12. Some lanterns flickered bravely. Some shone steadily. Some were very small, barely a nightlight, but they shone anyway. The leader in the square grew furious, but the lanterns did something he couldn't stop. They helped the villagers remember themselves. And when people remember who they are, it becomes much harder to control them with fear. Remember that. Eventually, even those who had blown out their lanterns in panic began cleaning their glass, trimming the wick, and trying again. One evening, a child asked Mira, "Why didn't you turn yours off?" Mira knelt beside the child, and she said, "Because resistance doesn't always look like fighting. Sometimes it looks like a single flame refusing to believe the darkness is the whole truth. Sometimes it begins with one person remembering their own light." And the village, warm and bright once more, discovered something important. A lantern can be blown out from the outside, yes, but its decision to shine again always begins from within. So with that, I'll invite our children off to their class as we sing hymn 108. My life flows on in endless song. Please rise as you're willing and able. Come on, songbird. It's early, I know. So we're going to kind of settle into a time of inner reflection and meditation. So I invite you to settle into your seat. Let your feet meet the floor. Let your shoulders soften just a little bit. You do not need to be alert for danger right now. You do not need to solve anything. You do not need to be strong. Take a slow breath in and let it go. Many of us arrive here wearing armor. Armor we've learned to carry out in the world to protect ourselves, to get through the day, to keep going when things are hard. For this moment, you're invited to set that armor down. Not forever, just for now. As you do, notice what remains. Imagine, if you will, a small flame within you. Not a dramatic fire, not a beacon, just a steady spark, real enough to matter. Notice its condition, bright or dim, flickering, or strong. Whatever you notice is enough. We're not asked to fix it. You are not asked to make it brighter. Simply tend it with breath, with attention, and with care. Let this shared quiet be a shelter for that flame. Let it rest here, protected by community, before we carry it forward together. Take one more breath. Resistance does not always begin with action. Sometimes it begins with arrival. And I'm going to hit you with another hymn, 123, Spirit of Life, but we're going to remain seated this time. And as we sing it, I really want you to think about the words you're singing. Roots hold me close, wings set me free.
As is our tradition, the first Sunday's offering of each month supports our sustainability fund in the budget. So as you give your offering this morning, please enjoy the video, Hope Lingers On. Julian of Norwich was a medieval Christian mystic who lived during a time of enormous suffering, including the Black Death. From within that world, she wrote the words of quiet courage and deep trust that have endured for more than 6 centuries. They still feel relevant today. All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. This is not because there is no suffering, nor because the world is free of pain or injustice. It is because love has never abandoned us, even when we cannot see our way clearly. We are not spared hardship, we are not protected from loss, and yet we are held, not apart from the struggle, but within it. God did not say to me, "You will not be troubled, you will not be burdened, you will not be distressed." But God said, "You shall not be overcome." For love is stronger than fear, and endurance is born not from certainty, but from trust that meaning has not vanished, even when the path is dark. And so we live, not because we are unafraid, but because love continues to work within us, quietly, patiently making all things possible in their time. Now please enjoy another special music video. This song was written by the beloved UU minister, Reverend Meg Barnhouse, who recently passed away. It depicts a conversation she is having with Julian of Norwich and beautifully puts Julian's famous words into song.
I said, Julian, you are holy, you are holding my hand. And Julian, you are holy, you are holding my hand. She said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. I said, Julian, do you not know about sorrow? And Julian, do you not know about pain? And I said, Julian, do you not know about hunger? And Julian, do you not know about shame? But she said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. I said, Julian, do you not know about loneliness? And Julian, do you not know about disease? And I said, Julian, do you not know about cruelty? I said, Julian, it's too much, it brought me to my knees. But she said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. And she said, no one does not know about sorrow. And no one does not know about pain. She said, no one does not know about hunger. No one does not know about shame. And she said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner
about loneliness, and no one does not know about disease. And she said, no one does not know about cruelty. She said, I know it's too much. It brought me to my knees, where I heard all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. I said, Julian, you are holy, you are holding my hand, and Julian, you are holy, you are holding my hand. She said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. She said, baby girl, do you not know about tenderness? She said, baby girl, do you not know about friends? She said, baby girl, do you not know about the spirit? She said, baby girl, do you not know it's only love that never ends? And so all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. And so all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well.
We truly live in a time when the world keeps tugging at our sleeves, whispering, sometimes shouting, that everything is falling apart. The news cycles are relentless. Political cruelty has become normalized, and increasingly bold authoritarianism shows itself in ways both blatant and subtle. The climate teeters on the edge. Global tensions rise. The cost of everyday life climbs higher and higher. Housing, groceries, healthcare, while wages lag behind. Communities fracture. People we love are struggling, and many of us are struggling right alongside them. Beneath all this, many of us carry a quiet, private exhaustion. Not the kind a nap will fix. Not the kind that goes away after a weekend off, but the kind that settles into the bones. That kind of exhaustion does more than drain our energy. Left unattended, it reshapes us. It narrows our emotional range. It thins our patience. It makes us vulnerable in ways we may not immediately recognize. Because exhaustion is where despair gets its foothold. And despair is not just a feeling. It's not simply sadness or discouragement. Despair is a condition that slowly weakens our ability to stay present, connected, and human over time. In seasons like this, chaotic, fast-moving, unpredictable, despair rarely arrives dramatically. Instead, it whispers to good people in ways that sound reasonable, even responsible, such as, nothing will change. It's too late. People won't listen. I'm tired. Let somebody else handle it. Why bother? It won't matter. Despair almost never introduces itself honestly. More often, it dresses itself up as realism, as sophistication, as being well informed. It says, I'm not hopeless, I'm just paying attention. I'm not cynical, I'm just tired of being disappointed. I care, but I have to protect my mental health. And to be clear, rest is holy. Boundaries do matter. Stepping back can be wise and necessary. But despair, it quietly crosses a line. Yes, rest restores us so we can return, but despair withdraws us so we don't have to feel. Rest creates space for healing, but despair slowly persuades us to shrink our lives, to inwardly disappear. And when enough people disappear inwardly, injustice doesn't have to work very hard anymore. This is not a personal character flaw if you're feeling this way. It's not a failure of faith or commitment. It is a deeply human response to too much pain, too much uncertainty, and too many losses arriving too close together. I know this terrain well, not only from my own life, but from years of sitting with people when the world felt like too much. I've known it as a chaplain in a level 1 trauma hospital, walking with people through crisis after crisis. I've known it as a parish minister, listening to people who are doing their best to keep showing up while something inside them has gone quiet. I've watched capable, compassionate people reach a place where simply getting through the day felt like an accomplishment. I've known people who still cared deeply about the world but no longer had the energy to engage with it. And I've sat in silence with people who weren't apathetic, just overwhelmed. Many of us know this landscape already. We know what it is to keep showing up while something inside of us feels worn and thin. To care about the world and still feel unable to meet it. To tell ourselves we're just tired, when what we really are is stretched beyond what we're designed to carry alone. If that is true for you right now, hear this clearly. Nothing has gone wrong. What you are feeling is valid. What shifts in moments like this is rarely new insight or a sudden surge of determination. What changes things again and again is simply presence. I've seen despair loosen its grip, not because someone suddenly felt hopeful, but because they were held in care long enough to remember themselves. Because of someone who listened without trying to fix. Because of someone who stayed when it would have been easier to drift away. Because of someone who remembered their light when they could not. This is how resilience is formed, not through heroics or sheer willpower, but through companionship. And this is where I want to slow down and be careful with the word resilience. In our culture, resilience is often offered as praise when it's actually a burden. Be resilient, we say, meaning carry more, adapt faster, absorb the impact, and don't make it anyone else's problem. That version of resilience quietly asks exhausted people to become smaller. Embodied resilience is something else entirely. It grows when we stay open in a time that encourages us to harden. It shows up when we tell the truth about what frightens us without letting fear dictate every choice. It feels like remaining emotionally available even when withdrawal would be easier. It allows us to feel deeply without abandoning our capacity to love. So resilience in this sense is not about bracing harder. It's about learning how to stay in relationship with ourselves, with one another, and with the world without breaking. Even years into this work, even with more tools and more clarity, despair can still visit my own life. A few weeks ago, I woke up one of those mornings when the heaviness of the world felt especially loud. I got out of bed, forgot to feed the cats, and sat doom scrolling while waiting for the coffee to kick in, which, as you know, is an excellent way to make everything worse. And I muttered, why do we even bother? What good does any of this do? But underneath that utterance was a quieter, more unsettling thought. I'm tired of caring. And that thought frightened me more than the headlines ever could, because it sounded like resignation, wearing the mask of self-protection. It sounded reasonable, sensible, like something an intelligent, well-informed person might conclude. But right then, one of my cats trotted over and headbutted my leg with the unmistakable feline blend of affection and entitlement. A moment later, the other hopped onto my laptop keyboard and began purring as if the fate of the world depended on his proximity to me. They weren't trying to teach me anything. They just wanted breakfast and attention. But their simple insistence on connection interrupted something. Nothing was solved. The world did not suddenly improve. The headlines did not disappear. But despair was no longer the only story running in the room. Sometimes resilience begins that way, not with clarity or certainty, but with interruption. So that's why I love the story we heard earlier, the lantern that remembered its light. Because before a village goes dark, a person goes dark inside themselves. Before authoritarianism grows in a country, fear grows quietly in people. Before hope collapses publicly, it collapses privately. Mira does not prevail by overpowering the darkness. She doesn't argue with it or shout it down. She simply refuses to disappear. She tends her lantern when others blow theirs out. When she is pressured, when she doubts herself, when it feels pointless, she keeps tending it anyway. And her light stays visible long enough for someone else to remember their own. And then another, and then another. This is how resilience spreads, not through spectacle or heroics, but through presence. Notice what Mira does not do. She does not carry the whole village on her back. She does not try to light every lantern herself. She stays faithful to the small, steady work that is hers to do, long enough for the community to wake back up. And that matters, because so many of us are exhausted from trying to hold everything right now. We feel responsible for being informed about every crisis, outraged about every injustice, anxious about every possibility. But the truth is, no human nervous system was designed to carry the whole world unfiltered. So embodied resilience includes discernment. It includes choosing what you will give your attention to and what you will release, not because you don't care, but because you do. This is quiet work, unglamorous work, daily work. It might look like allowing yourself 10 minutes a day to feel instead of shutting down. Turning off the news long enough to hear your own pulse again. Choosing connection over isolation, especially when you don't feel like it. Letting someone help you, even when you'd rather pretend you don't need it. I know there's a lot of you like that in here. It might look like taking one concrete action and letting it be enough for today. Or refusing to repeat the cruel story that says some lives matter less. It might simply look like noticing joy when it shows up and letting yourself receive it without guilt. This is what it means to tend the lantern. This is what it means to embody resilience. Tending the lantern does not guarantee that things will turn out well. It does not promise success, resolution, or visible results. What it does promise is this: we will not disappear inside ourselves while the world is changing. And that matters, because when a lantern goes out, it doesn't just affect the person holding it. It changes the landscape of everyone nearby. Darkness spreads quietly into the spaces where connection used to be. And that's why tending your light is not selfish. It is not indulgent. It is not optional. We do not tend our lanterns only for ourselves. We tend them because someone else is navigating by it, even if we do not know their name. Mira didn't know who would notice her lantern. She only knew what would happen if she let it go out. So here's the invitation. Stay tender. Stay present. Stay connected. Let yourself be interrupted back into the world. Tend your flame. Let its warmth reach someone else, and let theirs reach you. This is what it means to embody resilience in chaotic times, not by hardening ourselves against the world, but by choosing again and again not to disappear from it. And may that be so. Please join me as we extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. As you return to the world outside, go now knowing this. You do not have to carry the light alone. Tend what gives you life. Stay close to those who help you remember who you are. And when your flame burns low, may you find others willing to share their light. And when your light is strong, may you offer it freely. For this is how we resist the dark together.